Hello, welcome to OMAT. These are the exercises that we're about to do that have really helped me make decisions for myself. A few years ago, I made the decision to stop giving people advice, unsolicited advice. And that's been really hard because I really want to interject myself a lot of times. I feel like I have the answer. Pick me, and everything will go fine. But I actually feel like jumping in, it gives the wrong message. And me not giving advice makes me an actual better person. So what jumping in actually does is it tells me that it tells you when I jump in, I'm saying, I don't trust you. You don't know how to make this decision. It's saying, I know better somehow. It's also not giving you the the work that builds the resilience that next time this happens, you'll be able to manage it. You'll be able to deal with it. But what if the problem affects me? Do I get to jump in then? Probably not, because asking someone, begging someone, yelling at someone to do the things that you want to do it your way, is not doesn't really work. What you can do is do things for yourself. Always focus on me. So, what does that mean? I could set boundaries, I can ask questions. And if I'm dying to give advice, I can give advice to myself because most likely the advice that I want to give is the advice that I need to take. So, let's learn about ourselves, getting ourselves present before we jump into these exercises. Let's find out how do you get how do you get present? How do you get into the space? So, what's happening right now is my body's here. So, you might be asking, what do you mean? I'm here. Yes, but my mind can be in the past, in the future. It could be hectic up in there. So, let's calm down by maybe rolling the shoulders back and down, maybe rolling the head, knowing and believing that we have time because we've set aside this time for this specific thing. So we don't have to think about other times, past, future, just the present. As we get into that mode, mind and body agreeing with each other that we're here, we can get into our gratitude practice. Now, this helps me really see a full perspective of my life because what my mind tends to do is show me this is going wrong, this is not happening the way you want it to. What I'm doing right now is practicing also looking at those other things. You know what? Really glad that's in my life. I'm so glad that's still going on. Let's look for those things by looking for something to be grateful for right now. Let's wrap for now. Find our water, take a sip, and maybe you couldn't find a long list of gratitude today. Maybe you're having a difficult day finding that perspective, but just the exercise of looking for it builds that muscle in the mind that will react later in that way, that will have the muscle to see the gratitude possibly later. Let's keep going. We're going to again work on the muscle in our mind where we decide what we're going to do. Sometimes meditation is just paying attention to your breath. Longer inhale, slightly longer exhale. As you're focused on that, you might let go of the other things that normally your mind takes over. So let's practice maybe following our breath, maybe relaxing at every exhale. Decide by sitting in any comfortable position, eyes opened or closed, and breathe. As we come back, let's find our water. Take a sip and allow that to let you move into the next exercise, which is our writing exercise. Now, if you have writing utensils, you're already there, right? So we know where it is. Sometimes I have these thoughts, I want to let them out. It's probably a bad idea to let them out on someone else. If I know where my journal is, I could first do that practice of letting it out on a piece of paper. So that's what we're practicing, knowing where the thing that we write on is, and also taking action when it's time to write. Let's practice our writing by writing one or more words right now. Let's wrap the writing. And even if you don't finish the sentence, let's practice moving on by taking a sip of water and actually moving along into the next exercise. We're practicing leaving the last thing into the next right thing. Let's stretch. Stand if you can stand. We're going to walk through a sun salutation and do any of the poses. Skip the ones you don't like, add ones that you do like. Move nice and slow, and your body will tell you where to go. Start by inhaling the arms up. Reach up, look up. And here's the first pose. This is a pose. We're looking up, we're feeling the stretch in our back. And when we're ready, fold forward. Now the pose is our back is rounded, our arms are hanging over our feet, and our knees can be as bent as we want them to be. The stretch is in the back. When you're ready, halfway lift, flat back that's parallel to the ground. Look up, straighten the legs. And let's get into a plank pose. Plant your palms down right where you are. Step your feet back. You're now in a plank pose. And with your elbows near, lower all the way down to the ground as slow as possible. Then push against the ground and your chest comes up, your head comes up. Look up, point your feet. And let's meet in down dog. Hips up into an upside down V with your body. Your gaze is towards your thighs. And let's walk forward towards our feet and then start rising up, meeting our palms above the head and exhaling them down to the center of the chest, perhaps holding it there. Now, even though this stretch minute is up, we know what time is and we know we're not rushed. So we can take that extra pose if we want. There's always time for water. And then we can get into our plank pose. We got a little warm with that last exercise. Let's use that warmth. Let's not delay. Get in that ready position. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Up in the plank pose right now. This is the time to do the plank. Let's take advantage of that time. We have this minute set aside. That's 10 seconds. Congratulations. If you even cut into this plank pose, you know what a tough decision that is. So great job. That's 20 seconds. If you're still sitting there, it is absolutely not too late. You're going to potentially sit there feeling guilty or get a little uncomfortable to get in that plank pose for 30 more seconds. Now we're more than halfway done, which means, ooh, is this getting challenging? How do you want to meet that challenge for today for 20 more seconds? What can you find in you to stay up in this very challenging pose? Let's find out just for today, just for 10 more seconds, how much you can conjure up from your body with your mind working together for 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Come down off the plank, catch your breath. Maybe use some of the poses from the sun salutation to come back, have some water, and have all the credit that you want. It is okay to give yourself credit after every single one of these exercises. Why? Because we need that credit to remind ourselves to do the challenging thing again next time. Let's take that energy into procrastination. Doing something very, very small doesn't feel like it's going to affect your life, but every time you do that small thing, you are increasing that habit, that stick to it habit. Let's do it. Let's take on the smallest task. And that's part of it. What can you do in 1 minute? Let's find out. Let's wrap the task no matter how much we got done. Have some water and let's move on. Part of breaking procrastination is the ability to move on. Let's practice by moving into our connection minute. Here is a very vulnerable space. You have to decide, who do I reach out to? Sometimes it takes me an entire minute to make that decision. And that's fine. That's where you are for now, for today. Who do you want to reach out to? What would you want to say? Let's practice that thought process and see if there's some action right now. Let's wrap for now. Have some water. And whether you were able to connect or not, we're going to practice moving on right into our final exercise. We're going to move our body. We're going right away. Start in 3, 2, 1. Move your body in any way. And moving your body is a great way to move your mind. If you feel stuck, as soon as you start moving your body, that's 10 seconds in, your mind has a chance to change. We're already doing something different. So keep going if you can go. We're in now for 20 seconds. And as time passes, when we do mental, physical things, it gets a little more challenging. And with 30 seconds left, how do you want to do the second half of this exercise as it gets more and more difficult to do the same thing? For 20 seconds, can you work mind and body working together to get you a little more energy so that you can put it in this exercise for the final 10 seconds? Keep the energy up as much as you can without hurting yourself. Just for now, for 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Congratulations. And thank you for taking OMAT today.